So LSU got down this weekend.
Oh my goodness.
What did you learn?
Okay. Um, this is a little scary for me because if you all recall, we had a show talking about the teams that could potentially knock off who we deem unanimously to be the best team in women's college basketball this year, the South Carolina Gamecocks. And I personally refer to it as the South Carolina Cupcake Classic. This is what I called it. Um, I saw something this weekend that was very interesting. LSU struggles with transition defense. That is not good against high-powered teams. They could not stop those guards going downhill after missed shots. It was like a huge part of that game. They almost lost because they continued to give up points and or fouls in transition. Because I'm watching the game like, okay, wait a minute. And you know what I realized too, Seth?
What's that?
They were tired. Ole Miss was running up and down the court full speed. Angel Reese was holding her shorts. Even the commentator said it. They said LSU looks tired.
Well, Angel may still be working herself back into shape after being out for a while. So I'll take that. Ole Miss, I think I think that the teams like Ole Miss and uh, NC State, there's some teams that always just show up against certain teams. So I expect Ole Miss to show up against LSU. But how much of it was LSU wasn't able to handle those situations that it was that they didn't have as much respect for Ole Miss as they could have, and they could have been overlooking them or kind of didn't show up as focused.
A piece of that was there, but what I noticed was that they surrounded Angel Reese. She missed a lot of layups in that game. They had a game plan like, look, we're smaller than this team. Every time she touched the ball, there were like 2 or 3 players around her. And
But
again,
what I saw was that you can surround her, but Michaela Williams, who's on the screen up here,
yeah.
she's a problem.
Now,
She had one where she set the girl down on the ground and had to look at her, and then hit the J like.
Now I'm glad you said that because when they started their charge in the second half, they got a steal. She came down in rhythm, pulled the 3, and gave some distance in the game. Her defense, she started. I never really paid a lot of attention to Michaela Williams' defense. I don't know why. Don't tear me up, but she could very well be what makes them go in this tournament coming up.
Freshman is nice.
I mean, but I was just like the transition defense was. It wasn't
her defense and her intangibles definitely could replace what they lost with Poole.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But as a team, and then when Michaela wasn't hitting her threes, who's shooting threes for LSU? I mean, with confidence. I mean, Angel Reese kept passing up the 10-footer. I didn't know, and maybe I just didn't watch as closely. I didn't know that there really is not a mid-range game. Angel Reese doesn't have a mid-range game.
I don't think that this is a good game. I don't think that was a good game to judge LSU by.
Why not? I don't think game, though. It's conference. This is conference time.
Conference time, yes. Pressure time, no. Part of it is I'm defending champ, so I'm her in a way. Part of it is everybody is gonna give me their best shot because I'm her, So there's that, and then they're gelling, they're figuring it out. They had some messy stuff going on within the organization that we don't even know what it was that resulted in players leaving, players sitting down, players coming back, players being away, so a lot of stuff that they dealt with, and then you had holidays and just life and a lot of stuff going on. So now that we in conference play and they're starting to gel, um, let's see, let's see where they go. I think the fact that they're the defending champs, and they didn't play a really tough schedule last year, and they still ended up champs. They have earned the benefit of the doubt to see where it goes. Let's see what they look like closer to March.
What about this one though? Free throw shooting.
Everybody got to work on their free throw shooting.
No, not like theirs. They're
No,
200.
everybody.
They're
I was so
231st in the country.
okay.
They're the worst amongst the top 15 teams in free throws.
Mm-hmm.
And they,
Okay.
you know what I noticed too?
What's that?
A lot of turnovers.
I would say that every team right now is dealing with that turnovers and free throws. It's the same thing we're saying about South Carolina right now: turnovers and free throws.
They're averaging 15 turnovers a game.
Turnovers and free throws. So now theirs may be on a bigger scale. It may be a little bit more team wide. I'm not sure. What everybody's um, individual percentages look like, but it's January.
Moki was thrown out of a game and they were up by like 60 points. And now I see why. I can see that Moki is trying to, like you mentioned earlier, she's trying to clean things up. This is when you look at the details. What are you doing? Because I was wondering, I'm like, why are you getting thrown out of a game and your team is literally up by like 50-something points? I mean, the call was egregious. I think it was a foul call or something like that. and Angel Reese grabbed her. And if you look closely, Angel Reese is it looks like she's yelling. She was yelling for Moki's son to come out of the stands and grab his mother to come get help, to get his mom. She's like, come help me to get your mama. Please go look at the footage. It was the game before this Mississippi game.
I'm not touching that. You know how I feel about Coach Moki. You know how hands off right there, bro. I don't go there. I don't go there.
But not to say all that to say, just to kind of bring it full circle. I think that may have been why she was so animated, because she realizes, like, look, yes, we are the defending champs, but those South Carolina Gamecocks, they have this game circled. They're ready to play us.
Not only just the South Carolina Gamecocks, everybody has that game circled. They're the defending champs. And so I think part of this is what do they call it when you got the they still celebrating the championship. They still got the championship on
championship
championship.
hangover.
Yeah, I was going to say the championship blues, the championship hangover, a little bit. NIL deals might have went up a little bit. You being invited to a few more places. You doing a few more things. So
that wasn't a that was a
they get to come to work at bankers hours this season, and let's just see, can they get it done? But one of the hardest things to do is defend the title.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You are
one of the hardest things to do is to defend the title, because everybody's aiming for you, and you got to stay hungry. And is everybody on the team still hungry?
That's a great question, because we're going to find out what happened at the end of the season. Whoever
at some point, the story, at some point it's all going to come out, and
whoever graduates is going to come out and get that tell-all memoir of what happened. There's going to be a race to do it. It's going to be between Reese and who's the other NIL?
I don't know. I don't think it'll be at that level. I don't think that there's a reason for her to tell the story. She already makes big NIL money, and that'll transition to endorsement money when she goes to the WNBA. That was the other thing that I wanted to ask about, because I wanted to get an understanding. I get the NIL, right? Name, image, likeness. And these ladies are like, I can make more money in college than I can in the WNBA. But isn't that like a moot point? Because if I'm giving you an NIL deal and it's not just to play at a certain school. So let's where NIL was originally going to be like products, services, stuff like that. You would be an influencer, marketer of whatever commercials, right? So wouldn't the money just stay the same? It just wouldn't be an NIL. It would be an endorsement now.
Yeah, I agree.
So I was thinking about that today, and it was just like, what am I missing or not understanding about NIL? Where Angel or Caitlin or any of these ladies would have to leave any of this money behind if it's not, booster driven.
Great. That's a great question. So I did some research on NIL, and they said there were three areas that combine on the valuation: performance, influence, and exposure.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the three areas. Um, so it's interesting that you say that because the performance part is kind of like the easy part right now. How they perform on the field or the court, however the case may be. Influence is determined by their own social media authority. I think the last one kind of answers the question as to what you just said. Exposure is determined by several factors, including whether the athlete is in high school or college, which school and athlete they attend, and their position. You see more of these NIL high earners that are at the larger colleges saying, look, I'm doing the math. What's the average WNBA salary? What's the average endorsement? What's the average this? I can make this in my fifth year if I declare. Within I think that's kind of like where you was going with that.
No, here's where I'm at with it.
Mhm.
I'm trying to understand why they didn't want to pick up the extra 75, because that's how I see it. So if right now I'm at college, and you like me enough because I got 15 million followers that I got a Nike deal or a Coca-Cola deal, or I'm thinking of the things that I would want, um, Coca-Cola deal, a Nike deal, whatever those things are, right? Because I'm playing at South Carolina. When I transition to the league to play for Las Vegas, my followers aren't going to drop off. I'm still going to be the same influencer.
But
Why
are we?
wouldn't I continue? So for me, I'm going to keep my Coca-Cola money. I'm going to keep my Nike money, and I'm going to put some WNBA money on top of that. And if the school that I played for has any good marketing sense, I'm going to then become part of the recruitment package that they give out, or I'm going to come back now and help give out an NIL to the school to help bring talent in. Like, I don't think that we're leveraging this thing right, or we're not thinking this thing all the way out. You understand what I'm saying?
I do, but does it come down to those players saying, okay, if I go to this professional team, do I still have the control? Do I still have my own social media authority? Do I still have carte blanche of what I want to do, or is this now a public relations type of WNBA representative matter to say, okay, clear this, clear that, clear.
I am
Oh,
a I
oh,
am
and one other thing too.
I am a brand.
But
I am
wait,
a
wait,
brand.
we
I'm
didn't
a
talk
brand.
about we
So
didn't
that's
talk about the
negotiated
agent.
when we.
Agents cut. Agent got to get them a cut. Attorney
I
got to
wouldn't
get
hire.
them a cut.
I wouldn't hire an agent.
But that's you. I'm talking about if it's normal. If let's say top 10 picks, they're going
There's
to
no
have
reason.
agents.
There's no reason to have an agent. The money that you're going to get is already set. What am I getting an agent for? Get a lawyer. Pay a lawyer to read over your paperwork.
I agree wholeheartedly. But
So
the top 10 athletes, the
agent for
top 10 players are going to have agents.
you don't need one.
I,
Have your mom help.
but I'm talking about.
Ask Lamar.
But I'm answering the question of as to why it may be the way, like you said, because it doesn't make sense. It seems like you would double down or triple your money. I think it comes down
Yeah,
to
I
the
wouldn't.
control.
I'm just putting 75,000 on top of whatever I was getting already, because I'm not going to walk away from any of those deals. I wouldn't walk away from any of those deals.
Yeah.
Now, if it's booster money that I'm getting because you paying me to be at your school, well, that's different. And I could understand that, and it maybe the boosters still kind of pay me to come back and be a part of your recruitment package. But I
Yeah.
mean, what are we talking about? If you have an endorsement, it's an endorsement.
Yeah. I hear you. It makes sense.
So I really want to, and I'm gonna do some more research on that, and please, uh, jump in the conversation in the comments and help me understand where what it is I'm missing if it's something I'm missing, and please hit the subscribe, hit the notification, like, share, uh, and stay in the conversation with us because we appreciate the engagement. So LSU, you're feeling better, worse, the same about them?
I'm feeling worse. Like I said, that transition defense, and then those turnovers. I think that's going to be a problem. I mean,
I'm
this isn't just limited to the Ole Miss game.